Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most legendary parties in all of literature. We're going to figure out how F. Scott Fitzgerald so masterfully builds the mystery around his most famous character, the one and only J. Gatsby, using just a whole lot of rumors, incredible spectacle, and one very important clue.
So, Chapter 3 of The Great Gatsby just throws us right into this world of pure spectacle. I mean, it's not just a party, right? It's a phenomenon. And Fitzgerald describes the guests moving like moths, just drawn to this brilliant, dazzling flame, but they don't even really know why. And at the very center of that flame, a man that, get this, nobody seems to have even met.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the unbelievable extravagance of the party itself. Then we'll really dig into all the wild rumors flying around about Gatsby. After that, we are going to uncover a huge clue hidden away in his library, see the surprisingly quiet first meeting with the man himself, and finally, we're going to ask, what does all this really tell us about the person hiding behind the myth?
All right, first up, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this thing. These are not just parties. No, these are meticulously crafted, almost overwhelming experiences, all designed to be the biggest thing happening in New York.
I mean, the details are just staggering. Fitzgerald tells us that every single Friday, 5 whole crates of oranges and lemons show up, and by Monday, they're just a pyramid of pulpless halves. There's a full orchestra, not some little 5-piece band. A Rolls-Royce literally acts as a bus for guests from the city. You see, this isn't just about being rich. This is industrial-scale fun, a machine built to create pleasure, where people just show up, a lot of the time without even being invited.
So, in the middle of all this perfectly engineered chaos, you have our narrator, Nick Carraway, who's just trying to find his host. But nobody seems to know where he is, or really who he is. And because the man himself is absent, a myth grows in his place, fueled by nothing but whispers and wild speculation from the very people drinking his champagne.
And that is the question, isn't it? It's the central mystery of the party, maybe the entire book. And into this vacuum where there are no facts, every single guest seems to have a different, totally dramatic answer. And each one is more fantastic than the last.
The rumors are they're wild, and they're all over the place. Did he kill a man? One guest is absolutely sure he did. Was he a German spy? Another person says it with total confidence, only to have someone else immediately say, no, he was an American hero. You see the point here? Gatsby's identity is literally being built, piece by piece, from the gossip of his guests. He's a total blank canvas, and everyone at the party is holding a paintbrush.
This line right here, it's so revealing. It shows you just how much Gatsby has become a subject of what Fitzgerald calls romantic speculation. He's not even a person to them. He's a character in this thrilling story that his own guests are writing, a phantom just lurking out of sight at his own party.
Now, to find the first real clue, we actually have to leave the party. Nick and Jordan are trying to find Gatsby, and they wander into this huge, gothic library. And in there, they find this stout, pretty drunk guy with owl-eyed glasses who has just made a pretty startling discovery.
Now, he's not amazed by the fancy wood paneling or how grand the room is. No, he is absolutely stunned by the books themselves. See, in a place that feels so much like a movie set, he was completely sure they'd be fake. He says it with just pure astonishment. This whole illusion, this incredible performance of a house, actually has some truth to it. It's not just a hollow front.
He just can't get over it. He has to prove it to Nick. So he pulls a book down to show that it's a bona fide piece of printed matter. He says this Gatsby fella is a regular Belasco, who is a famous theater producer known for these super realistic sets. The attention to detail is amazing. But then comes the twist.
And boom, that right there is the central clue to Gatsby's entire personality. The books are real, which shows you he's committed to making this look authentic and thorough, but the pages are uncut, which means they have never been read. It is a perfect, unread library. It's the image of deep knowledge and culture created completely for appearance.
Okay, so with that major clue about illusion versus reality in our back pocket, we go back to the party, and Nick starts talking to a stranger who seems to be about his age. They hit it off pretty fast, and they realize they were in the same division during the war.
So Nick just casually says, I live next door, and I'm one of the few people who is actually invited, but I haven't even seen the host yet.
and the stranger just kind of looks at him for a second, like he doesn't quite get it, which leads to the most low-key but powerful reveal in the whole chapter.
And just like that, the mystery's over. No big entrance, no spotlight, no dramatic announcement. The mythical host, the German spy, the killer, the phantom, he was right there the whole time, just hiding in plain sight, making small talk about the war.
And the difference is it's huge. Nick was expecting someone florid and corpulent, some larger-than-life guy to match all those crazy rumors. But instead, he finds this young man whose speech is so formal it's almost weird. The legends made him out to be this dark, sinister character. But what Nick notices is his smile, a smile that has a quality of eternal reassurance. The myth and the reality, they could not be more different.
So once Nick knows who Gatsby is, he really starts to watch him. And he notices this deep, deep separation between the host and his own party. The guy who created all this fun and chaos seems completely removed from it all.
Yeah, while all of his guests are descending into drunken chaos, Gatsby stays sober, perfectly polite, and distant. He watches them like a director watching his own play unfold. And people don't treat him like a friend. Nobody's throwing an arm around his shoulder. He is the architect of all this fun, but he is never, ever a participant. He's like an island in the middle of his own roaring sea.
And this brings us right back to that huge clue from the library. See, Gatsby has created this perfect, authentic-looking image of a cultured, well-read gentleman. But it's an image he hasn't actually lived in. The pages are still uncut. So it leaves us with this big question. Is the man himself just as real and just as unread as his books? Is Jay Gatsby just another beautiful, elaborate stage set for a life that is all for show?